It's an absolutely desperate day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast has discovered that LGSs and distributors are roundly rejecting Thunder Junction on a huge level. On top of that, the art theft situation that we talked about in the last video has gotten so much worse.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. My friends, I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for an absolutely insane edition of Mega Magic News Ultra Desperation Edition. Wizards of the Coast is backed into a corner right now. Things are ugly on the Thunder Junction front, which is what they need to bring in money, and things are ugly on the art theft front, where they're going to need to pay out money. It's absolutely mind-blowing the way that has progressed. Now, before we talk about all this juicy news, I just want to let you know that there was a problem in a previous video with my card trader link. So I've been in contact with them and they have provided me a brand new link. So those of you who pointed out to me that there was a problem, thank you very much. You will find the corrected link down in the description below, and I'll put it in the pinned comment for you too, okay? So, that out of the way, let's dive into the desperation and what's going on with Wizards' supply chain, because they have built this beast themselves and caused this problem for themselves, obviously. The way it works right now is stores and distributors have both pulled back very, very strongly from Magic products. And what this means is that Thunder Junction is not being ordered on nearly the level that Wizards of the Coast needs it to be. Forget wants, they absolutely need it. And we'll get into that. But let's talk about why stores are stepping back from Thunder Junction and distributors. And distributors stepping back is a much bigger problem for Wizards than just stores stepping back. So, Markov Manor, the awful set that came before Thunder Junction, has performed abysmally. You can see in a ton of locations, they are still trying to fire sell this stuff. The LGS that I go to is still selling the boxes for $60 less than they're supposed to go for, and he's eating a loss on every box, and they're still impossible to move. So what's happening? Obviously, stores are looking at Thunder Junction and going, okay, this is going to be more of the same. This set is basically built under the same premises, right? It's a rough, loose theme set that doesn't seem to have a bunch of demand behind it. So why don't I just take a step back and not order that much? Now, if that was just happening on the LGS level, well, you know, individual stores choosing to not get some product, that's not a problem. But Wizards of the Coast has destroyed the trust and faith of their distribution network, which is, it's a crazy move to make, and we'll talk about what they're doing to try and fix that. But first of all, the reason this matters so much is distributors essentially go like this. We're going to order a ton of Magic from you, and then we're going to parcel it out to all of our stores. And for the longest time, what distributors would do is they would buy more than they intended to sell. So let's say they buy, I'm just going to use a random example. Let's say they buy 100,000 boxes of Magic, right? A huge distributor. And they go, we're going to take 20,000 and sit on them. I'm using round numbers. Obviously, when it comes to the specifics, they have ways of determining. But for simplicity's sake, imagine you're a distributor and you normally buy 100,000 boxes and you say, we're going to take 20% of that, 20,000 boxes, and set it aside because we know that this stuff is going to go up in value. So that's what happened with a bunch of different sets throughout Magic's history, right? The distributors go, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and sit on things like Double Masters 2022. That was one that I knew a bunch of distributors said, nah, we know this is going to be worth more later. So you can literally shove it off to the side and then you just wait for it to go to print with Wizards of the Coast. So then you can go, not available in print anymore, we push the price up, right? So clearly that's a good move for the distributor. They get to move most of their product at the regular price, but then they essentially just get to leverage the appreciated value of sets that do well. And even if they don't do well, the distributors aren't stuck with the stuff, right? Because Magic always sells. That was the mantra of the dude who used to run the LGS that I went to before he went on to another world. But regardless, Magic doesn't always sell anymore. Markov Manor has proved that. What happened with this set is stores turned around to the distributors and said, look, I know you guys have this deal where you'll take product back from me, right? And the distributors say, yeah, but here's the thing. We have a restocking fee of 15%. So every $100 you gave us, we're going to keep 15 of those dollars, which is a huge loss because you got to understand a lot of Magic product only gets you like a 10% profit. So you've lost your profit, you've lost some of your money, and then you've got to try and sell the rest of the stuff you have just to try and catch up while you're behind. And that's a bad enough scenario. But distributors actually said, here's the thing. I know you asked if you could send that stuff back and normally we allow it, but we're not going to do that. We're not taking it back. Doesn't matter if it sours your relationship with us. We are not taking back this toxic Magic product. Think about that for a second. Distributors went from, we will set 20% of our order aside to leverage later into, no. Even though this stuff just came out, we are not, like, it's like hot potato bag holder. Here's the poison potato. Oh, no, I don't want to touch it, right? So distributors are going, no, we won't take this stuff back. Now, where does that leave stores? Obviously, they go, okay, so every box I order, I'm stuck with, and there's no way out of this, and it's going to be at the same price point and designed in the same way that Markov Manor was. This is going to be a nightmare. So they're pulling back, and then distributors are turning around going, yo, Markov Manor, we can't get rid of what we have. So the distributors aren't happy they have more to hang on to. They are stuck with what is to them dead product. And so in a crazy phenomena I never thought I would see happen, multiple distributors all over the place are going, here's the deal. We're going to level with you. We are no longer backstocking these products. So when it comes to Thunder Junction, what you order is what you get, and we won't have any more for you. So tell us exactly what you want. That's exactly what we're going to order. End of sentence. So we went from distributors going, okay, let's buy a huge amount of these and set 20 to 25% aside for future profits. And they switched modes into don't buy any boxes we're not guaranteed are going out the door, and don't take them back. This is huge. Wizards of the Coast might be all like, we're selling through Amazon, but that's not enough to move the needle for them in the long term. They need distributors. They need the stores. They need this network. And so, out of desperation, what they're doing now is they're basically putting stores in a headlock going, here's what we're going to do. You want the goodness? You gotta buy the garbage. So what they're basically doing is they're strong-arming local game stores in an attempt to bamboozle distributors. And it's all under the guise of a promotion, right? Where they're going, hey, you know how Modern Horizons 3 is coming out? And this is also what's causing them big problems as well. Everybody's saving their money for Modern Horizons 3. Why are you going to go, pew, 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 get the Yeehaw set when a bunch of people are just going to pick up singles? This overpriced garbage is not going to sell because it's a lazy theme set that has no internal coherence, and it's just, here you go. So it's a mess, right? You're not really wanting to get in on it. But Modern Horizons 3, everybody know it's going to be banger. You know why? Because this is how Wizards forces rotations into Modern. What does that mean? Powerhouse cards in the Modern format in a set that costs more money, which means the singles also have a higher secondary market value. So basically, Modern Horizons 3 is a super desirable and also confusing product. People have asked me, yo, why are there commander decks attached to Modern Horizons? And if you want to hear the hilarious answer, that is like corporate nonsense, Rosewater came out and said, look, the reason we have to do commander decks instead of like actual modern decks is because we can't do them at a price point you will accept. No. You refuse to do them at a price point we will accept. You are the ones printing the cards. It cost you like 25 cents to produce a booster pack. That's genuinely what it costs Wizards to make a booster pack of cards, just so you know. And guess what? That applies to making precons too. A precon's the equivalent of 4 boosters, or 5 if you include a sideboard, right? 75 cards. And they have the temerity to be like, yo, no, man, here's the thing. It's you guys. You're the reason we can't do modern decks. You're not willing to pay $1,000 for a modern deck. But meanwhile, they're going to slap commander decks on this thing because commander's everything. Let's be real. That's a problem with Thunder Junction too. The theme Omen Pass set is literally how many different commanders can we shove into a set? Let's hope standard survives. So LGSs have been getting a hose from Wizards for however long, and now they're just coming along with this nonsense too, going, all right, we've got this Thunder Junction stuff, get that. We've got commander decks we slapped onto Modern Horizons 3. We've got special collector commander decks that we're adding on to Modern Horizons 3 because we just can't sell your modern deck. You just wouldn't accept the price point because they're so greedy to squeeze every dollar out of the secondary market. So how are they strong-arming stores? What if I told you that they turned around and said to stores that unless you run 4 Thunder Junction drafts, you're not really going to get any of the collector commander decks for Modern Horizons 3. They sent out an email to all the stores going, secure your allocation of commander collector decks from Modern Horizons 3. And you have to basically run 4 full-on drafts to secure 4 of these decks. That's it. 1 of each of the collector commander decks. So they're basically subtly underneath going, if you don't do this, you won't get these. Now, I don't know how it is in your guys' area, but guess what? It's almost impossible to fire off an original draft one time for these sets. Markov Manor wasn't drafted like crazy. In fact, as far as I know, there were no Markov Manor drafts in my area, except one store I think had 1, right? And there are multiple LGSs in this city. So there was like 1 draft for this set. Like, that's it. That's it. And now they're turning around going, you have to have 4 drafts. Why is that? Because that causes you to at least have to buy 4 booster boxes to run those 4 drafts in an attempt to goose the numbers, where they turn around and go, okay, look, if we do this to the stores, then the stores will be like, oh, I want this. And they'll contact their distributor and go, I want to order more Thunder Junction. Now, the distributors aren't getting this email, right? So they're just going to see it and go, wait a minute, there's an uptick in our customers all of a sudden asking for more Thunder Junction product. This must mean there's increased faith in it. This must mean it's a better product and there's more stability. We should probably bring more in. But it's a bamboozle move. Like, this draft is totally just supported by 2 things. We will give you your allocation and you won't get it otherwise, and we'll give you some Old Tech Matter Weavers to give out or whatever. And it's like, Old Tech Matter Weaver, what is that? Oh, don't worry, that's the card from Thunder Junction. It's the dude who came out of the vault that we told you nobody was inside of, and he just looks like he's from Ixalan and has no connection to the set because everything is just stapled together with this. So Wizards of the Coast is literally just going, oh, how do we get people to buy this? Why are they requiring 4 drafts for this level, you might be wondering? Well, guess what? It's because they screwed up so badly with Thunder Junction. They thought they were going to get to do an Aftermath set with this, where they were going to sell us 5-card packs like the Aftermath set, where we got robbed. And the market went, no. So Wizards of the Coast said, uh-oh, we got to take that Aftermath set and shove it into Thunder Junction. But all their financial projections are based on having a May set release that people buy. That May set is gone. They had to push it into Thunder Junction to use the cards. That means that Thunder Junction has to be twice as profitable. It has to make all the money that the Aftermath set would have, plus the money that Thunder Junction would have on their projections, where they had no idea that Markov Manor was going to be this meh throwaway. They thought people were going to love it, and it's done miserably. And Thunder Junction is literally more of the same. Modern Horizons 3 is going to sell well and do well because it's actually designed to be a product for a format, and it's designed to impact that format. People will want the cards for it. But Thunder Junction doesn't read as something that was designed for standard at all, right? It's supposed to be a standard set, but it is a weird, here are all your commanders, here's a weird Western theme with no real coherence or effort put into world building, into set building. It's incredibly disparate. So coming on the heels of Markov Manor, it's doomed. The set is doomed to do poorly financially. So Wizards has to go, how do we get the stores like in on this? What do? We need money. And they're going to need even more money now that they're going to be dealing with who knows how many lawsuits. If you watched the previous Art Fiasco video, right? You may remember Wizards, what is it? Donata Jinkola and two other people had their art stolen in that? I can't remember how many I said in the video, because it turns out there was 5 people. There was 5 people who had art stolen just for the Trouble in Pairs card. All by itself. Well, guess what, friends? The well goes deeper. Way deeper. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that every single one of Faye Dalton's cards have stolen artwork in them, because last night I did a live stream where we covered Wizards' response to this fiasco, and let's go ahead and take a look at that response right now because it's hilarious. It says, we've heard questions on the integrity of the art on the card Trouble in Pairs from the Murders at Karlov Manor Commander set, and we had questions too. As we've looked into this further, we're now suspending future work with Faye Dalton. My friends, you might notice this is the shortest announcement they've ever made of this nature. Normally when they make an announcement like this, they make sure to tell us what their corporate policy is. We have a corporate policy of this. It was broken because of this. A little bit of details, right? This has no details. And the reason for that is Wizards doesn't know how deep it goes. Their lawyers are just like, no. You can't say there's any kind of infringement. You can't admit anything because this one card has opened us up to 5 different people being able to sue us, right? But as things progressed, it turned out that, oh, look, the secret layer of Johnny. Looks like that's stolen from this lion right here. People started digging around. When I did that live stream yesterday, people started popping in with updates. Here's this artwork. Here's this artwork. So through the course of the stream, more stolen artwork starts popping up. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link if you want to go and see the live stream and hear about all of the different art. But even after that live stream ended, more and more art is being shown to have problems with it. You've got Liliana from one of the secret layers. You've got Ash from the Evil Dead. Those ones right there off the top of my head, Gala Greeters. And like the images are there to show you the same way I did in the previous video where it's contrast and compare. So right now, from what I've seen, there's at least like 6 cards that have a bunch of art infringement. And I absolutely believe we're living in a world where it's going to turn out to be every single piece of artwork. So we're looking at, if what I've looked at is proper, 17 different cards done by this individual, each one opening Wizards up to liability from at least one artist, if not multiple artists. So in previous instances, we've seen only one aggrieved party, only one person who could actually go, yo, I'm suing you. Now, it's definitely not an infinite number, but if you get really crazy and apply the 5 people per card, when there's like 17 cards, bro, we could be looking at 80 different artists. We could be looking at 80 different artists and 80 different lawsuits. Man, Wizards lawyers are in for a lot of trouble in terms of the hassle surrounding this. And think about it. How it works in these cases, right, as far as I understand, is the aggrieved artists sue Wizards of the Coast, and they can also sue the artist. But Wizards of the Coast is the one who's printing the infringing property. They have a contract with the artist signing saying, I won't do this, which means, let's say Wizards get hit and have to do some kind of payout. Well, then they would turn around and sue the artist for that money. But bro, is the artist going to have enough money to pay for like 50 different settlements or whatever it is? Like, it's this crazy scenario where Wizards isn't possibly, they're not going to be able to recover their money. And Hasbro hates lawsuits. You have no idea. The whole reason that we don't have a judge program, sure, Hasbro has high-powered, high-priced lawyers, but they detest using them. That's why when the judges sued to be treated as people, the Hasbro went, no, get rid of the judge program. The game doesn't need judges. We're getting sued. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Fire them into the moon. So somebody or multiple somebodies are going to get in a lot of trouble for this, right? Like, for real. There's no excuse of, well, you know, Wizards just makes 1 billion cards a year now, and they can't possibly keep track of everything. Well, guess what? It's your responsibility as a company to make sure that your actions are in line with the law. And I'm sure when you go to Johnny Law and say, well, I would have obeyed the law, but I'm trying too hard to rob my customers blind by making 1 billion poor quality products. And because I'm doing that, I don't have the time to properly vet what I'm putting out into the world. Once upon a time, people would do hand paintings and they could just show them wizards, here's my hand painting. But wizards fell in love with the digital, son. So now you've got, woo, look at how fast we can get digital artwork. Yeah, look at how fast you can get digital art lawsuits, man. It's absolutely wild. Some people are already getting proxies of the redacted version of the card where all the different artwork has been cut out with the different artists' names. If you haven't seen it, it's actually, you know what? I'll put it up on the screen for you right now. People are getting proxies of this because they think it's funny. And they're like, yo, I should go and get this signed by all the different artists who got robbed by this. And speaking of proxies, my friends, guess what? I just did a proxy review over on my other channel. So if you're interested in the newest wave of proxies and my overall opinion on them, I'll leave that linked down in the comments below, as well as here at the end of the video. Thanks for coming by. Big shout out to my patrons, and I will see you all in the next video or in the live stream I'm doing tonight over on my Hatchet channel.